Welcome to Sondisa TV. Today, we're diving into the 2001 South African comedy gem, Mr. Bones. Before we start, here's a heads up, this video is packed with spoilers. So, proceed with caution, or reckless abandon, depending on how you like to live your life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe throw a comment or two. Let's get into it. The film kicks off in Kavukaland, a fictional kingdom somewhere in southern Africa where logic takes a back seat and hilarity takes the wheel. An airplane crashes nearby, and out of all the chaos, a baby miraculously survives. Enter Mr. Bones, our titular character, who grows up under the care of the Kavuki people and becomes the resident bone-throwing prophesier. Think of him as a fortune teller, but instead of tarot cards, he uses animal bones, and instead of vague advice, he delivers wild, often questionable prophecies. Meanwhile, we meet King Tsonga, the ruler of Kavukaland, who is dealing with a very relatable problem. He has 17 daughters and desperately wants a son to inherit his throne. Apparently, family planning wasn't on the agenda. The king finally remembers a fling he had decades earlier in Sun City, which may have resulted in a son. With renewed hope, he sends Mr. Bones on a mission to find this potential heir. Cue the wacky road trip vibes. Over in Sun City, the stakes are high. Golf star Vince, the Prince, Lee has arrived for a tournament, accompanied by his eccentric coach, the Wild Boar. Wild Boar is as wild as his name suggests. He's a loud, no-nonsense guy who takes coaching as seriously as Vince takes his hair gel. Meanwhile, a local casino owner, Zach Devlin, has placed a massive bet on Vince winning the tournament. No pressure, right? But things take a turn when a freak accident involving a wild boar, not the coach, the actual animal, puts Wild Boar in the hospital. How does this happen, you ask? A passing airplane drops a boar onto him. Yes, you heard that right. This movie doesn't just suspend disbelief, it catapults it into orbit. With his coach out of commission, Vince plays terribly. But just as his golf career is circling the drain, in walks Mr. Bones. Convinced that Vince is the long-lost prince of Kavukaland, Bones uses his mystical bone-throwing skills to give Vince a lucky streak. Suddenly, Vince is unstoppable on the golf course. That is, until Mr. Bones remembers his mission and sabotages Vince's final putt. Talk about bad timing. Things get even crazier from here. Vince, humiliated and furious, bumps into Lality, a local singer with a voice like an angel and a face to match. Naturally, sparks fly. But Mr. Bones, oblivious to social norms, decides to kidnap Vince by impersonating Lality. Yes, it's as ridiculous as it sounds. Meanwhile, Wild Boar breaks out of the hospital in a fashion that's equal parts daring and absurd. He teams up with Lality and her mother to search for Vince, because apparently no one in this movie can just stay put. Not to be outdone, the casino owner sends two bumbling henchmen in a helicopter to track Vince down. At this point, it's less a comedy film and more a chaotic scavenger hunt. Eventually, everyone converges near Kavukaland, where the comedy ramps up even further. Mr. Bones introduces Vince to King Tsonga, but things don't go smoothly. For starters, Vince is terrified of animals, a tough phobia to have in a kingdom filled with wildlife. He accidentally whacks King Tsonga in the face with a stick, which doesn't exactly scream future king material. Furious, the king disowns him and announces that he's ready to die. Just as Vince's life couldn't get any worse, the casino owner shows up and tries to kill him and Lality. Vince, however, finds his courage when he sees Lality tied to a tree with a lion about to devour her. Overcoming his fear, he chases the lion away, proving that love, or sheer panic, can conquer anything. King Tsonga witnesses this act of bravery and decides that maybe he doesn't want to die after all. But wait, there's more. The casino owner reappears, determined to finish what he started. This time, Mr. Bones and a helpful elephant team up to crash the casino owner's helicopter. Yes, you heard that correctly, an elephant. If you're wondering whether this movie adheres to the laws of physics, the answer is a resounding no. With the bad guys defeated, King Tsonga declares Vince as his son and the heir to the throne. But just to be sure, he asks Mr. Bones to consult the prophecy Bones one last time. And wouldn't you know it? Wild Boar shows up at that exact moment, and the Bones reveal that he is the real prince. Talk about a plot twist. The film ends on a high note. Vince and Lality tie the knot, and Vince goes on to win the Masters golf tournament. King Tsonga, Mr. Bones, and Wild Boar watch proudly from Kavukaland, proving that sometimes, life really is a mix of chaos, comedy, and unexpected victories. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Let us know in the comments if you've seen Mr. Bones and what you thought of it. And hey, if you want more laughs, reviews, and all-around good vibes, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay awesome.